Hey guys, my name is Jen Carrasco. I am a serial entrepreneur, founder of many six-figure businesses. I am also a skincare creator, an IFBB pro athlete that is extremely passionate about helping entrepreneurs grow their business and, most importantly, helping you and everybody else to own their shit. Welcome to Own Your Shit, the podcast. This is the show where we stop the comparison cycle, we eliminate the need for a secret sauce, and realize that the faster we own the way we stand in our own way, the faster and shorter the route is to creating that life we all crave. So, with that being said, now let's own your own shit. Hey guys, it's Jen here with Own Your Shit with Jen Carrasco. And as you know, every single episode is filled with fucking badasses. And so I am thoroughly excited. But before we get there, I want you to please remember to rate, review, share, because if you share, you review, this gets out more, the content gets out there more for people. And I want to share all these amazing people that I have on my show. So today I have one of the biggest badasses that I know. She will make you own your shit. She will make you dominate your shit. And I met her through another badass, which is on a whole different level, but this girl is dynamite. So I am going to let her introduce herself, give her spiel, and let's go from there, girlfriend.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. That's such a powerful intro. My cheeks are burning from smiling.
Nice.
I am a cackler. Warning to everyone listening in, but thank you so much, Jennifer, for having me. I'm excited to go down massive rabbit holes on this, what I call, like when I podcast, it's cerebral adventure. So to introduce myself, so my name could either be Roxanne or Roxy. It is both, your choice. Professionally, I'm an empowerment and self-mastery coach. I'm a podcast host. I am a teammate and strategist to women around the world to help them develop what I call inside-out tools. So we focus on attributes and skills. You know, we think of self-love, self-confidence. How do you build and fortify self-trust? Living from your most authentic self, because these are essential ingredients to own your shit, right? So backing up prior to really diving into launching my brand, Black Belt Beauty, and the podcast, Black Belt Beauty Radio, and then even launching my coaching program, my membership site, Queendom. For the larger part of my career life, I have been a celebrity makeup artist. And it's interesting because, they can seem very separate, like two very different things, but they're really not. And I know you, of all people, can really, really relate to this and understand it. But yeah, it's been my life, as we get into this conversation, I just want to, I want to let your listeners know that prepare to be very agile, because there is nothing about my life that has been linear. So we're going to go hard right and then go fast, straight forward, and then make a sharp U-turn, because that has been the unfolding of my life. And, all of that has been intentional. I have lived my entire life outside of the matrix. I came out of the womb very determined to not live an average life, nothing lukewarm. I was introduced to greatness first and foremost by sport, right? Like, I was a competitive runner as a young girl, and FloJo was my everything. Like, I was like, I'm going to the Olympics, and like FloJo, she's just the baddest woman, and I always looked to these athletes and these other, just thought leaders and performers that my father had introduced to me and to my siblings, and really just recognized what greatness and excellence was. And it just resonated with me in a way where I'm like, fuck, I'm like, I want to do shit, I want to express myself in this way. So I'll pause in a minute and just, we can kind of go through wherever you want to go, backstories, whatnot, but just all of that to say that, this entire journey that has been my life at this, I just turned 43 this year, the through line has been, number one, I live for my most authentic self, no matter how fucking hard it is. And it has been hard and it continues to be hard. But, a lot of women come to me to develop more self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, like, the greatest factor that I can contribute, has contributed to my self-confidence, true self-confidence, like I've earned it, you can't take it away from me, has been number one, and there's other factors, but number one, because I've only ever been myself, always.
Yeah.
Not the most popular, not getting all the opportunities, not whatever that meant, it didn't matter to me. Yeah. The loyalty that I have had to my most authentic self has been so just powerful and dominant. And the more that I just moved through my life with that being the dominating core value of mine, it just really has helped me to develop this sense of empowerment and confidence, and we can continue on from there. But yeah,
no, and I'm glad you went over it, because that's actually the question I was going to ask you, and that's what I get a lot of times too from people. And I don't want to say we seem confident, because we are confident individuals, right? But it took us a process to probably get to that point. I was always very outspoken as a child. I was very confident, but there is people that break you down. And as a female, I get a lot of females that are very, and I'm sure you get this a lot, either they're nasty, they're not very nice, right? Because they're insecure and jealous because they want that confidence, right? They want that. But what they don't seem to understand is we are the most giving, loving people that would give you anything. But it's almost like when I go and train at the gym, I get, well, I don't want to come talk to you because you look like a bitch, right? Well, no, I'm focused, right?
It's funny. I don't get that, to be fully honest. And I don't know if it's because, listen, when I'm in the gym, I'm a fucking lioness, man or woman. You're likely not talking to me because I'm there to handle business. But, I've never really heard that feedback. It's like, I've had people say to me, like, you're so focused, and I don't even want to come near your zone, which is true, because I really am. But you're right. I always say, like, my strength, I'm a very strong woman. You're a very strong woman. The greatest attribute to my strength is how soft I am. Yeah. I am incredibly soft. And the level of empathy and compassion that I move through life with is extraordinary. It is. And I can say that with so much ownership, right? And at the same time, I've always been this woman where, for some reason, and I don't walk around having to prove anything, like puff my chest out. I'm the warmest, friendliest girl, but you know not to fuck with me. You just know it behind my smile. And that has been throughout my life, like in high school and a long time ago, you know what I mean? So, the women that come to me are very, I think what really stands out the most is the ownership of self. And in that ownership, there's a lot, that I fucking love myself. Self-love is a huge part of the conversation with me. It's a big focus point in my coaching and mentorship, because for me, in my opinion, I call self-love the queen of battle. She's a queen of battle because she's going to put you in the arena to face the fight, but she's also going to help you to get through it, right? So, like, an example of that would be you step forward to some challenge that is standing guard at something that you really want to experience in your life, whatever that is, the job, the home, whatever that is, the body composition. It's a fight. It's a battle. Especially when you're starting out, or she's self-love. I say she is going to position you to move towards that fight. I have a whole creed in my brand called Seek the Fight. We're moving towards that shit, right? And let's say in any of those examples, the job, the body, whatever, you get rejected. You failed. You had a hard day, a hard moment from that challenge. You get put on your knees. self-love, which in the center of it, kind of like a visual, I'm an artist, there's always a visual, you have self-worth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that self-worth is going to, you're going to feel the punch, you're going to feel what it feels like to take that hit, but the self-worth and that self-love gets you right back up and
Yeah.
keeps moving you forward
Yeah.
until you get that hand raised in victory. So I know that, you know, a lot of the women that really connect with me, they feel that, and it's because it's real. Like it's just, it's what I know and how I move through my life, and it is, so far it has only served me. I mean, there's never been, I can't look back in my 43 years and be like, you know, well, that time you loved yourself too much, you know.
Amen. No, yeah. Yeah. How do you help and transition females that step in, that want to love themselves, want to revamp themselves, want to make them priority and love themselves again, and they don't have that and they want to relearn that? How do you guide them in that?
Yeah, great question. So I have a framework that I developed. You know, essentially my whole coaching is geared around self-mastery. The empowered mind is the prerequisite
Yeah.
to enter the path and the journey of life that is self-mastery, right? So I have this self-mastery roadmap, right? Which is this 5S formula that I have created. And I created it because people have always asked me for years, like, how do you stay so consistent? How are you so disciplined? How do you, you know, and I'm like, and the easy, fast answer was, I was like, because I fucking love myself. And then I had to do a lot of deep thinking and go, okay, hold on. I need to really dig into this more, elaborate on it more, so that I can actually share this as a framework and tactics to help, you know, women as well, right? Self-love sits in the middle of this 5S formula. So I'm going to go through the S's in sequential order, and it has to be in sequential order. Mm-hmm. The anchor is self-awareness, to observe self, non-judgmental observement, right? You're learning, you're observing, you're watching yourself, you're creating space between your thoughts and your emotions, which is so powerful for several reasons we can dive into after. So that's the anchor, self-awareness. What comes next? This is a really crucial S here, and I don't hear much. Like I've never really heard much on this specific zone of self, but it is the precursor to self-love in my framework. It's self-connection. So what is that? So self-connection is to embrace self. It's to start to really understand who you are, meaning what are your core values? What are your core attributes that you lead with, right? What are your core principles, these guiding tenets in your life that, you know, are shaping this self-identity? Your self-identity is shaping your life. You need to know who the fuck you are. You need to really embrace these core qualities about yourself with thorough understanding and appreciation for them. This is where self-validation comes in. And it's a really huge piece to being, you know, an authentic path creator. So once you get to embrace, you start to really understand who this self is, what makes you tick, and like from your most authentic self, now we have this embracing action coming in. From that point, we move into self-love. Self-love is fucking ownership. Because when I know who I am, and I love who I am. I love my efforts. I love my core values. I love the way I show up and contribute and express myself in this world. I'm not saying I'm going to make everybody happy. I'm certainly not saying I'm making best friends with everybody or I'm the most popular, but it doesn't matter to me because I'm very clear on who I am and what I am here to do in my life. And that's how I charge forward. Yeah. That's self-love, ownership. Moving on, self-love is the precursor to self-confidence. Because again, go back to that, you know, being in the arena. Self-love is putting you in the arena, and the arena is where you're getting the self-confidence. It's when you take the hit. It's when you're going towards the fight. It's feeling yourself down and then getting back up. That's where you fucking develop real self-confidence, right? The kind nobody can take away from you. And I say that so intentionally because there's a lot of pseudo self-confidence. Obviously, we have self-esteem and self-confidence. Self-confidence is like, I really believe in my skills and what I'm capable of doing. Self-esteem is, I really believe in myself and I'm owning myself. And they really, to me, I just kind of group them together, right? there's a lot of people who rely on external validation to know who they are. So you don't really know who you are, but like they tell me I'm great, so I must be great. Am I really sure about it? Okay, but then that person goes away, or those people go away, or you're not popular anymore. Now you're fucked because that variable has changed, and you don't even know who you are. Like, and you're, and this is where there's a lot. This is where that detachment from self and lack of ownership and love comes in, because the self connection piece isn't there. How are you going to love yourself with integrity, with reverence, with an unbreakable commitment when you haven't even really developed like this core connection with yourself that is reliant on self, right? So you're in the arena, you're getting these self-confidence stripes, and what I call the crown jewel in this framework, this roadmap to self-mastery, is self-trust. You need self-trust to do anything great in life, because it's going to require, and I know that you can speak to this so well, you're going to be at several crossroads where you got to bet on yourself. You got to go all in. You're literally dancing on the line of fucking uncertainty. Like it's your stage, right? Like, and you have to march forward with absolute trust in who you are, what you're about, your path, and where you're driving yourself. But that takes confidence, right? So when you ask me the question of like, how do I get my girls to feel more of self-love and ownership, I'm taking them through this, this roadmap here. It's not just like, my conversation around self-love is not the normal conversation. My conversation around self-love is, you got to do some hard shit. That's what self-love is going to make you do. It's going to make you be so fucking honest with yourself. It might make you cry. It might hurt you. But that is the deepest level of respect and love that you could ever offer yourself. And once you get through that hurt, you're still standing there, but you're standing there with ownership and a whole another level of strength that you didn't even know you had in you. So it's not this simple, you just do this and that. It's like all of these S's, by the way, have no fucking period at the end of the sentence.
Yeah.
It's a life journey.
Yeah.
There's levels to this game.
Yeah.
And I want my girls, I drive my girls, including myself, to get 1% stronger in all of this every fucking day of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and it's beautiful because it's true. That's what creates who we are, where we're very, very confident within ourselves and we love ourselves. And it's the fact of, I know you don't know the story, but when I went through my second divorce, I lost everything, right? I mean,
Yeah.
son, everything, like everybody turned their back on me. And I remember just getting ready for the Arnold Australia and literally just nobody there to support me, nobody doing anything at my darkest moment. And that was the time that I knew, like, it's okay because you're a fucking badass. You can handle this shit. You can build yourself. And that's when all the good shit happened. Like
I love
all
that.
the good shit came in my life, right?
I mean, it starts and it ends with you.
Yeah.
And so, I always like one of the greatest, things that I really work on with my girls is to create this unbreakable relationship with themselves where you're your own ride or die. I have the most incredible counsel and tribe of people in my life, from my family to my loved ones. Like, I've got it down, right? But I know why they exist in my life. Family, obviously blood, but like, I know why. Because I cultivate that. I call that in because of the relationship that I own with myself, right? So in those moments, like the one that you just shared, I mean, this is some powerful shit, because you could have run from yourself. And I always say, like, it's almost like my secret weapon my entire life. When I have felt the hardest of hard moments, the darkest, like just all of those moments where you're just like, I always ran to myself. I instead of like, I didn't go and try and like, I need clarity. And for me to get clarity, I had to go inward. Maybe I'm lucky because I know it's easier to just escape, to go out, to, distract yourself, to drink. I'm not drink, whatever you want to do. I'm not judging.
You follow your intuition. You follow
100%.
that God gift, whatever it may be, you follow that. So it's not that
Yeah.
you're lucky, right? It's like myself. I could
Yeah.
have went back to that marriage, coddled, stayed there, made everybody happy. But I thought, no, my intuition tells me that this is the right thing I'm fucking doing. Right. And most
Right.
women, they're not strong enough inside because they don't love themselves enough to know what's best for them.
Yeah. And I'm sure that in that, after that moment for you, I mean, you can look back at that moment and you developed not only a deep level of self-love and self-confidence, but also self-trust,
Yeah.
because you were in a dark, hard place, but you got yourself through it. Which isn't to say that we can't accept and there isn't a place for external support. Of course, there is. But if you haven't even investigated what you are capable of, doing in those moments for yourself with yourself,
Yeah.
right? And you're there's a glitch in the system, and you're never going to be as powerful and really as whole and fulfilled as you could be. You got to explore that and do your best to self-soothe and to investigate and see how it is that you could show up for yourself, because that's what you did.
Yeah.
You fucking showed up for yourself.
And
It's amazing.
the thing is that this is your life.
Yeah.
You could die tomorrow. Like,
I think of it all the time.
I want to enjoy every moment that I can, right? I mean, we have bad days where like, I want to go back to bed. But for the majority of the part, like, I want to be fucking happy. I want to
Yeah.
do the shit that makes me happy and helps other people.
Literally. 100%. Well, your happiness is a contribution.
Yeah.
We don't need more sad, sick people walking the earth. We just don't. Your vibe when you're flying, that's a good fucking energy to be around, and it's infectious. One of my greatest measures of success is how do I feel, for the dominant part of like when I wake up in the morning and I'm fired up. I'm fucking fired. Like I'm excited to live and to create. And let me just make this very clear. I'm moving through hard shit as a constant. Number one, because that's just part of life. Like we evolved because this universe was like, take this, take that, and like humans evolved from stress and challenge, right? Then you tack on being a path creator.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who is genuinely I'm carving out my own unique lane and path and of life. And, in that I'm an entrepreneur, and there every day you're getting something with, in this position. So, the entire, when I say I wake up and I'm fired up and it's not like, oh, and everything's just easy. No, I don't even have bad days. I have high and hard days, right?
I like that.
Because the hard, first of all, like, yeah, it's just bad is like you get nothing out of it.
I agree.
No, I get something out of fucking everything.
Yep.
Those hard
Absolutely.
days are giving me something.
Yep.
So yeah, I would like more high days than hard days for sure. But I understand that this game of life means, especially because of the way that I'm creating my life, girl, be prepared for the fucking hard, And I am. And so I can appreciate the hard because I'm also very capable of witnessing myself. So go back to the self-awareness, that anchor. I watch myself move through my entire process.
Mm-hmm.
And every day I get up with the best intention to lead myself in the best possible way, to create the best possible work that could be the best possible contribution. Like that's how I get. Now, does every day feel fucking amazing? No.
Yeah.
Am I hitting the target every day? Absolutely not. But again, I would never have the strength, the resilience, the grit, the wisdom, the perseverance, all the capacity, and the confidence if I didn't have the hard days. So, I appreciate them.
Yeah. So before we end all of this, I want to talk about Black Beauty. So will you dive a little bit for us all? Okay.
Yeah. Well, so Black Belt Beauty is a holistic high performance lifestyle brand. And it was birthed. It was officially birthed when I'm a martial artist. I train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and I broke a toe in my foot.
I'm going to come and take a class with you.
Please do. I would love it. Yeah, no, it's every woman needs, everybody needs Jiu-Jitsu, but every woman, and this was at a point in my makeup career where, I climbed to the top 1% in my makeup career, which was awesome because I started, at the very, very bottom, right? And it's a gnarly path. It's a very competitive, industry. So, I say this, it's important because it wasn't like, oh, I was over makeup and then it was like, oh, let's start this thing. I knew makeup was a skill that I was so good at and passionate about, but it wasn't the expression of who I am. And I knew that I had more to do. I just knew it, right? And, I'm sitting there with a broken toe and I just, again, always paying attention. A lot of the feedback that I have received throughout my life, whether it was from my most intimate, family, friends, or even just strangers, they always, I'm a geek, neuroscience, biology, physiology. I have a lot of fucking, I'm totally a geek. I like literally listen to neuroscience to go to bed. That's my Netflix. And so, whether it was giving advice about, green tea and theming or training or a mindset shift, pivot that would, elevate the person, or there was impact. They would listen, like it would come back. And with that time, you told me this and I wrote it down. So I'm like, all right, look, here's the thing. People take in my information and really take it to heart. Okay. So that's one aspect of it. And there's a lot of diversity, right? All the things I just shared with you. And then I look at myself and I'm like, where does this come from? This comes from just me being fucking who I am and being so passionate and totally a geek about all this stuff. So I'm like, all right, well, why don't you create something, maybe a blog, right? So Black Belt Beauty started as a blog, almost like going to be a Refinery 29, where you have like the training and all the things. But I'm a girl who needs to be outside and fucking move. I can't be, on my computer all day, right? And then at that time I had, I was already an avid fan of podcasts, and it like started to really hit me. I'm a conversationalist. I'm totally introverted and an ambivert, but very introverted. So, and that always trips people out. They're listening to this. You don't sound like a fucking introvert. Yeah, but the minute this is off, guess what I'm doing? I'm going on a walk. I'm quiet and I don't talk to anybody, right? So I started thinking about, I'm like, I podcast conversations. I want to talk to more people. And I want to share this information to as many people as I can, and my podcast is geared towards, it's all self-mastery, self-development, how to optimize your performance and life. So Black Belt Beauty, what it means is, from my opinion, we know Black Belt is the highest standard, right? In any martial arts, right? And I look at life and I go, to live from the highest potential of self is to live a beautiful life. And that is Black Belt Beauty. So, the podcast is born, and then that really just is what took off, like really helped to shape the brand. And then from that point, I started taking on women and actually coaching them, and I'm still doing my makeup because I loved it. But the thing is that what's so special, and I really am really grateful for this, like every fucking day, what I do now, everything that is Black Belt Beauty, everything, my podcast, my coaching, all of this work is Roxanne Saffaie. It's like, I just get to get up and be my fucking self. And, every day that I'm driving myself to get better, that better is not just for me, it's for everybody that I am, coming into contact with.
Love it.
So and there's so much more to come, like I've been a writer my entire life, and there are books in the queue, and that'll be, a whole nother crazy, awesome adventure that is literally at my toes right now. But yeah, that's the genesis behind the brand. And I'm just really grateful that I get to be in this position, having conversations with badasses like you. And hopefully giving, your listeners an experience that fucking fires them up because, this is important to insert here. I really do want to be a representative of a human that, like, I'm an underdog. I got the heart of an underdog, the mindset of a champion, right? Forever. I don't care how many fucking victories I have, forever. But I really want to be an example of, hey, you can actually be your most authentic self and you can still achieve all of the fucking greatest things that you want to achieve, because people depart first, maybe they aren't even familiar with their most authentic self, but it's so easy to stray from your authenticity because you're going to get more followers. The person's going to like you more. You're going to get the job. And I say, dude, fuck all that. Like, hold it down. Be who you are. Because first of all, the level of self-respect that you are going to acquire, you don't know it now, but like, I can look back and go, damn, no matter how crazy hard it was in certain moments or stories for days, you never strayed from your truth. And how do I not love myself for that? How do I not respect myself for that? Yeah. You know what I mean? So I really want that to be like a fucking billboard. Yeah. Just be yourself, yeah, and go all in on yourself and your vision and your goals. Certainly have them, first of all, and then just fucking go,
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
I am so glad that you said that, because honestly, more, and I don't want to even just specify women, but I do, more women need to do that.
Yes, I know. And I agree with you.
We live our lives for everybody else.
It's so true. And there's fear of rejection and not being good enough. And I say, fucking stand up to that fear, because there's ownership in that process.
Yeah.
Every time you depart from your most authentic self, remember this. This is so simple and important. You're either being loyal to who you are, or you're giving that loyalty to something else.
Yep.
And if you get the, opportunity to be able to look back at your life before it's about to end,
yeah,
isn't it going to feel a lot fucking better when you go, I was so loyal to who I really am throughout my life.
Yeah.
No matter how hard it was.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's a very, that's wealth, Yeah.
Oh, it is. Absolutely. You're awesome. Thank you.
You're awesome. Thank you so much.
I
so much fun.
So where can all of the viewers and listeners find you?
So Instagram's great. I'm at Roxy Look, ROXYLOOK.
And she's a badass, by the way. When you look at her stories.
Well, now I get back into jiu-jitsu now that things, open up. So that'll be fun. But yeah, like, it's just really, I try and share a lot of my stories throughout the day, but mindset's a huge piece. So Instagram's great. Obviously Black Belt Beauty's on there too. But I mean, everything, my membership site, Queendom, the podcast, which is everywhere, all of that could be found in the hub, the mother hub, blackbeltbeauty.com.
Awesome. And I will list everything when this goes out. So
thank you.
We'll have it all in there and get it all to everybody. So I want to thank you. Thank you for
spending I want to thank
you. I appreciate you.
Finally. No, I can't wait to get you on the show too. I know you're so wonderful, and I'm glad that we were able to make this happen. And thank you. It's truly an absolute pleasure and an honor to sit with another fucking amazing woman like you, who is truly contributing in life. So I'm here in your corner. Thank you.
Awesome. I appreciate it. So you guys go check her out. Again, please rate, like, review, share, and I will catch you next week.